Howdy, y'all. My name is Eric Hemphill. I'm about to talk about the negative effects of urban sprawl on bees' habitat and nutrition. The intro to this urban sprawl, the uncontrolled expansion of urban areas, bee boom, bee bloom, the common name for a group of aerotomic flower plants in the mint family known as botanical as the Queen's marjoram coneflowers, a North American plant of of the daisy family that has flowers with cone-shaped discs that appears to consist of soft spine. Aster, a plant in the daisy family that has a bright red flower, typically of purple or pink. My questions I have that I want to answer through this presentation are: how does urban sprawl affect bee balm and coneflowers and asters for nesting sites for bees? Or are some ways that we can work together to still be urban but also save the bees and not affect our environment? Can we stop using the pesticide that kill majority of bees so they can live? How does the pesticide work to kill bees? My first slide is on urban sprawl. Urbanization reduces the amount of green spaces for bee balm, coneflowers, and aster species. Where those plants normally grow, the flower species are important as they bloom in different times during the season, providing a constant food source for bees. Neighborhoods expand and those plants become replaced with concrete lawns and buildings. Bees then lose access to various different sources of nectar and pollen. They need to maintain healthy lifestyles. Urban sprawl also results in habitat formation, making it more difficult for a bee to find a nesting site close to the plants. So it depends upon many native bees' nests in the ground or in the dead wood, which removes when land is clear. Without somewhere to lay eggs, bees cannot reproduce and build a population number. Even simple changes such as removing wild edges, mowing too frequently, and using the decorative rocks beds dramatically reduce the amount of habitat available for bees. Inclement effect of these pressure reduces the amount of habitat for bees and plants to indicate contributing to the decline of pollinators and habitat health over time. Communities can build sites where people and pollinators thrive side by side. Plant native flowers like bee balm, coneflowers, and asters to help reduce the habitat. They can have lost in yards, parks, and roads. Medians, pollinator gardens can be planted in school and neighborhood lots and building parks, creating new food corridors for our winged friends. Cities can cut mowing schedules so that wildflowers will receive in the grass where mowing has less effect. Homeowners can leave patches of bare grass and dead wood. For these bees that nest in the ground or in crevices or green roofs or balconies gardens, we will be giving the bees new feeding areas, amend all the concrete if we adapt organic gardening methods and avoid toxins in the garden. We will keep them safe while enjoying the beauty that create in our urban environments. A community education program, we teach residents about how they are connected to the plight of pollinators. Local lawns can create new policy considering the places of pollinators in planning for new development. When cities partners with citizens, they can not only stay modern and viable, but not destroy the ecology that supports them. Bees do not have to be exposed to most toxic parasites if farmers insist and homeowners cooperate. Some majority culprits, especially the neotones, contribute directly to major losses to pollinators, costing countries and states so much that these chemicals are already banned. Stop using these pesticides means stronger bees, hives, and more environmental safe places in general, although many farmers have come to rely on them for pest protection on their crops because serious pest damage to the crops. A complete move from all the food chemicals help can occur when the biological pest control, a safe organic help. A good crop rotations when or develop urban areas can take the lead in getting all bee toxin chemicals out of lawns, parks, landscaping, but education is needed. The most homeowners don't have a clue about the exceptionally dangerous implements of the pesticide that are currently using on their yards. If people only knew about the serious risk, they would and pick up all this horrible practice and change or enough education and better situations will lessen the chemicals in our environment. Many of these pesticides just poison the bees' nervous system. Neotoxins bend the receptors in the bees' brains to overwhelm the response in cells, regulate movement and behavior. The result, confusion, paralysis, and death. Even small doses of pesticide just kill the bee right away. But instead of slowly eroding itself, bees attend to these uh, pesticides get lost and can't find their way back home to their hive. The immune system weakens and less able to withstand attacking various parasites because these chemicals are absorbed throughout plant tissue. The bees are exposed when it drinks its nectar and gathers pollen. Depending on the chemical, it can persist for long periods of time in soil and water. The result of long-term communication when the bee is unwillingly brings the commanded particles back to the hive, the entire colony is in danger. That how widespread and chronic decline are created with pesticides. Here's all the data I got from that urban sprawl and the pesticides. Significance we depend on these bees to pollinate huge portions of the food we consume and utilize to keep our ecosystem buzzing along. A wound to their population can tear into important food webs. Bees are needed to produce crops of bee balm, coneflowers, and ashes. Without them, the entire bioregions rich with species can collapse. The consequences far-reaching to both farm and wild systems alike. Bees help add to the beautiful cities and pollinate flower plants to help keep soil healthy. That the bees are disappearing is an indication to us of a potential much larger air pocket in a system of out of equilibrium. We heard as much as the birds and the squirrels save the bees, save the greens, and save the cities tomorrow. Society learns to support local agriculture, community garden, and green species. City planners start adding pollinator gardens, community gardens next to the door become highly pollinized jewels when town folk understand what makes them shine. Cities, urban sprawl, harmful pesticides help helping the flowers depend on disappear. Plants like bee balm, cornflower, aster, and lose habitat. In the return, bees have fewer places to nest and feed. But societies and communities have power to change these substitute ways. If we choose native flowers, reduce how we use chemicals, and restore green spaces to something more natural, then the manufacturing on so many of us keep, we can make a positive contribution to a thriving pollinator population in urban areas. All white city gardens, long-term communities, communication by homeowner developers and local government is required to mitigate urban sprawl, decreasing the resulting dangerous pesticides make the bees world a more hospitable place to live. Appreciating how the system poison and it bees neurotoxin destroy the bee brains and behavior may inform our choices. Best Shannon of the pollinator partnership said there is no such thing as a local bee in a global economy. We don't have to curb urban sprawl, just be smart about it to protect our pollinators. The task is daunting, but so too It's the capacity to respond. If we all scale up responding, saving the bees is no less than reconnecting our science and our food. Here are my resources.